It was a warm June afternoon in 2024, and I was out on the porch of my little riverside cabin in Willow Creek, fixing a creaky step. My name's Jack Harper, a retired carpenter who'd spent 30 years hammering nails and dodging shady subcontractors. I'd scraped together every penny to buy this placia modest, weathered cabin with a view of the river that sparkled like a promise of peace. Nothing fancy, just mine, paid for with sweat and late nights. That day, as I tightened a screw, I noticed a kid pacing along my fence line. He was maybe 17, clean-cut, dressed in clothes that screamed money sneakers probably worth more than my old pickup. But the way he kept eyeing my cabin, circling back like a hawk, set off alarms. I've seen enough sketchy behavior on job sites to know when someone's up to no good. After his third pass, he stopped at my gate, glanced around, and reached for the latch. That's when I called out, "Hey, kid, you need something?" He froze, eyes wide, like I'd caught him stealing from the cookie jar. Then, out of nowhere, he threw himself to the ground, clutching his ankle and howling like I'd taken a bat to him. "Oh God, my leg. Help," he wailed. I stood there, dumbfounded. I'd seen real injuries, guys losing fingers to table saws, and this wasn't it. The fall was too neat, too staged. But my dad raised me to help when someone's hurting, so despite my gut screaming setup, I jogged over. "All right, easy," I said, kneeling beside him. "Don't move if it's bad. Let me check." The kid, who I later learned was named Ethan, was putting on a show, wincing, breathing hard, the whole bit. But he kept sneaking glances at his phone, and I swore I heard it chime like it was recording. "I'm so sorry, sir," he said, eyes big and innocent. "I was just cutting through to the trail out back. Didn't know this was private property. Please don't tell my mom." His story was smooth, almost convincing, but something felt off. Still, I helped him to my porch, grabbed an ice pack, and asked if he needed me to call anyone. He shook his head fast. "No, please, no calls. I'm fine, just need ice." So there I was, playing Good Samaritan to a kid I was pretty sure was casing my place, starting to wonder if my years on construction sites had made me paranoid. We sat there for 20 minutes, him thanking me profusely, me second-guessing myself. Then I heard an engine roaring up my gravel-driven sleek black SUV, way too fast for my quiet street. A woman burst out, dressed like she'd just left a boardroom, her face a storm of fury. "Ethan," she shouted, striding toward us. "What did this man do to you?" The kid's act flipped instantly. Gone was the grateful teen. Now he was a trembling victim, limping dramatically. "Mom, I'm okay," but he grabbed me when I got too close to his fence. I fell trying to get away. My jaw hit the floor. "Hold on, that's not what happened," I said, but the woman, who introduced herself as Laura Bennett, wasn't listening. She jabbed a manicured finger at me. "How dare you touch my son? He's an honor student, not some criminal. You lured him here and attacked him." It was like I'd stumbled into a nightmare. One minute I'm helping a kid, the next I'm a predator. Laura pulled out her phone, voice icy. "I'm calling the police. You assaulted a minor, and I have witnesses." My heart sank as she dialed 911, spinning a tale of me attacking her son for walking too close to my property. I stood there, in my faded flannel and paint-stained jeans, watching my quiet retirement unravel. Officer Ryan Carter arrived, a young guy who seemed to buy Laura's act hook, line, and sinker. She played the part of concerned citizen perfectly, shaking his hand, introducing herself as president of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association. Ethan showed off his injured ankle, claiming he recorded the incident for safety. The clip he played was my voice saying, "Don't worry about being on my property," stripped of context, making me sound guilty. I tried explaining how I'd caught Ethan at my gate, how he faked the fall, how I helped him, but Laura cut me off. "Officer, this man's been a problem since he moved here. We've had complaints about his aggressive behavior." Then she turned to me, voice dripping with fake sympathy. "Mr. Harper, I don't want to ruin your life over a mistake. Pay $15,000 for Ethan's medical bills and trauma, and we can settle this quietly." 15 grand for helping a kid who tried to break in? I snapped. "I'm not paying a dime. I didn't do anything wrong." Laura's smile turned cold. "Then we'll handle this officially." That night, she called an emergency HOA meeting, and it was a circus. The community center was packed with neighbors I barely knew, all glaring at me like I was a monster. Laura presented her case like a seasoned lawyer, complete with Ethan's edited recording and Officer Carter's account of my hostility. She painted me as a threat to their kids, their property values, their perfect little community. When I tried to speak, I was shouted down. The HOA voted to slap me with a $5,000 security assessment and $100 daily fines until I proved I wasn't a danger. Laura leaned in after, whispering, "Pay the $15,000, or this gets worse." I went home feeling like I'd been ambushed, staring at a citation for assault with a court date 3 weeks out. The next few days were hell. My mailbox was suddenly misaligned, my lawn too long, my porch light non-compliant, each violation carrying a $200 fine. It was clear Laura was weaponizing the HOA to break me. Desperate, I met her at a diner on Route 7, a cashier's check for $15,000 burning a hole in my pocket. She sat in a booth, surrounded by papers like a CEO, and slid me a folder of fake medical bills. Our visits, therapy for Ethan's PTSD, now totaling $25,000. "Trauma's unpredictable," she said smugly. "This is reasonable compared to jail and a ruined reputation." I was about to tell her where to shove it when I overheard an elderly couple at the next table. "That Bennett woman got $4,000 from us last year when her kid fell on our driveway," the woman said. "Never believed he was hurt, but we couldn't afford a lawyer." My hands shook. Laura wasn't just scamming me, she'd been running this racket on others. I left the diner without signing anything, my mind racing with possibilities. I started digging, carefully asking neighbors about the Bennetts. Most shunned me, thanks to Laura's smear campaign, but Mrs. Ellen Hayes, a widow down the street, spilled the beans. "Laura cost me $6,000 2 years ago," she whispered. "Ethan slipped on my wet sidewalk, but I saw him check for witnesses before he fell. I found 2 more victims, a young couple, the Thompsons, who paid $9,000, and Mr. Gordon, who shelled out $5,500. Laura targeted people like me, working class, no trust fund, unlikely to fight back. I documented everything: violation notices, victim stories, even Laura's shady real estate license, which was under state review for fraud. Then I hit the jackpot: HOA financial records showing $28,000 paid to Laura's consulting firm for non-existent projects. The real breakthrough came when Ethan slipped me a note, asking to meet at the old playground behind Willow Creek Elementary at 9 p.m. He showed up, hood up, terrified. "Mom's been coaching me for years," he confessed, voice shaking. "She picks targets, makes me practice falls, teaches me what to say." He'd recorded her planning sessions, scared she'd pin it all on him if they got caught. "She's planning to seize your cabin tomorrow night," he warned. "She's got the votes." But Laura caught him talking to me, and the next day, her surveillance kicked into overdrive. She drove by my house, parked across the street, watching like a hawk, all while claiming she was protecting the neighborhood. The HOA meeting was a powder keg. Laura had packed the room with allies, presenting charts and lies that painted me as a dangerous loner. She moved to seize my property, and the crowd was eating it up. Then Ethan stood, chair scraping, voice breaking. "Stop. I can't lie anymore." He admitted everything: Laura's coaching, the fake injuries, the extortion. He played a recording of her saying, "Poor people don't fight back. That old guy's truck is junk'll pay to avoid jail." The room went silent. I followed with my evidence: victim statements, financial records. The tide turned. Someone called the police, and Officer Carter, now seeing the truth, arrested Laura as she screamed about conspiracies. Her trial was a spectacle. DA Sarah Collins laid out Laura's 2-year crime spree, with 8 families testifying to her scams. Ethan's testimony was heartbreaking, described being manipulated into targeting vulnerable neighbors. Laura's lawyer, a slick city type named Paul Grayson, tried to paint her as a community hero betrayed by a troubled son and a vengeful neighbor. But Laura's mask cracked when Sarah asked if she felt remorse. "Remorse?" she spat. "I made their lives better. That old man doesn't deserve that cabin. They're too weak to stop me." The jury took 90 minutes to convict her on all counts: fraud, extortion, embezzlement. She got 5 years, full restitution, and a lifetime HOA ban. I received $50,000 in damages, which I used to fix my finances and help other HOA victims. 2 years later, in August 2026, I watched Laura's mansion sell at auction for pennies on the dollar. Willow Creek elected me HOA president, and we passed transparency rules to prevent another Laura. Ethan graduated with honors, studying social work to help fraud victims, his guilt driving him to make amends. Laura's in prison, unrepentant, her appeals denied. My cabin's secure, and our community's stronger than ever, bonded by surviving her reign of terror. What would you do if you caught a loved one running a scam? Would you expose them or stay silent? Have you ever been underestimated because of your appearance, only to prove them wrong? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, and subscribe for more stories of justice and redemption.